One of the NFL's most explosive names might be switching teams, and guess who's keeping a close eye? While a legendary veteran keeps an entire fan base in suspense with a decision that still hasn't come, a rising young star is starting to generate buzz behind the scenes. In Pittsburgh, the action hasn't stopped, and fans don't know whether to celebrate or brace for more twists. Hit that like button and check out what's shaking things up behind the scenes for the Steelers. Hold on. Steelers fans, just when you thought this wide receiver roller coaster was slowing down, another loop might be coming. Pittsburgh's already pulled off some spicy moves this offseason, like landing DK Metcalf from Seattle and tossing him a juicy $132 million extension, then shipping George Pickens off to Dallas. But now, there's buzz swirling that they might not be done just yet. Enter Chris Olave. Yep, the New Orleans Saints' star wideout is starting to pop up in the rumor mill, with 93.7 The Fan's Adam Crowley floating the idea that the Steelers could be sniffing around a potential deal for the 24-year-old. Now let's pump the brakes. There's no official report tying Olave to Pittsburgh. Not yet, anyway. But given where things stand in that WR room, it's not exactly a wild idea. Right now, the Steelers' depth chart behind Metcalf is looking thin. We're talking 33-year-old Robert Woods possibly lining up as WR2, and Calvin Austin III mostly operating from the slot. Rookie Roman Wilson, a third-rounder from the 2024 draft, is intriguing but still unproven, especially after a banged-up rookie year. So yeah, adding another legit outside threat, that makes a ton of sense. Olave, a 2022 first-round pick out of Ohio State, came out of the gates hot with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. But 2024 hit a snag. He managed just 400 yards over 8 games due to multiple concussions, which have started raising red flags. Health is a real concern here, no doubt. Still, when he's on the field, the dude's electric. And with the Saints possibly resetting after Derek Carr's retirement, even though they've picked up Olave's fifth-year option, there's a window where they might consider moving on. It's risky, for sure, and the Steelers wouldn't want to overpay considering his recent injuries. But if New Orleans is open to a reasonable deal, you gotta think Pittsburgh at least picks up the phone. This could be one to watch, especially with the Steelers clearly not afraid to shake things up. Would you take a chance on Chris Olave despite his concussion history? Now hold on, some folks are saying not even Aaron Rodgers can save the Steelers. Alright, Steelers Nation, things are feeling real murky in the Burgh right now. Pittsburgh's rolling into the 2025 season with more questions than answers, especially at the quarterback spot. As it stands, Mason Rudolph is at the top of the depth chart. Yep, that's still happening. And they just grabbed Will Howard in the 6th round of the draft. But let's be honest, nobody's betting their house on either of those guys going the full 17. And then there's Aaron Rodgers, the looming question mark with a cannon arm and a Hall of Fame resume. Pittsburgh's waiting on his decision like he's the last prom date left in town. He'd clearly be the best shot the Steelers have at being competitive, but even if Rodgers signs, there's a ton of skepticism about whether this team is actually built to go deep. Here's where it gets spicy. Some folks in the media and plenty of fans are saying it's time to tear it down and start fresh. Because let's face it, the Steelers haven't had a true franchise quarterback since Big Ben called it a career back in 2021. And trying to fake it at that position just ain't cutting it in today's NFL. Jason McIntyre didn't hold back on the herd. He basically lit a match and tossed it. They're not making the playoffs. I don't care if Rodgers shows up. I don't care if Tom Brady fits in, it's not happening. Yikes. And honestly, it's not that wild of a take. Pittsburgh's got a brutal schedule ahead, 6 games against 2024 playoff teams. Plus a nasty AFC North gauntlet that includes 2 matchups with the Ravens and a Bengals squad that's poised for a bounce back, then toss in games against the Lions, Packers, and Vikings, all 3 playoff-caliber NFC squads, and things start to look real dicey. That final stretch, it's a buzzsaw ending with division clashes and showdowns against Detroit and Buffalo. Not exactly a walk in the park. So yeah, unless Rodgers rolls in and channels his inner MVP and the rest of this roster plays out of its mind, this might be Coach Mike Tomlin's toughest task yet. If he somehow drags this team to the playoffs, we might be talking Coach of the Year stuff. But if not, Steelers fans could be eyeing that 2026 draft board for their next franchise QB. The hard truth? Either Pittsburgh gets its act together, or 2025 will be just another frustrating year. Neither Olave nor Rodgers can work miracles alone. If you like this kind of analysis, make sure to subscribe to the channel.